This is the brief on the life and legacy of football legend Franco Baresi. The entire global soccer community is mourning the loss of the 66-year-old Italian icon, and looking at recent obituaries and tactical guides, it's incredibly clear why he's universally celebrated as a titan of the beautiful game. First, Baresi completely revolutionized the Libero, or sweeper position. As a free-roaming central defender, he was actually pretty undersized compared to the bruising defenders of his era. So he played like a chess grandmaster in cleats. He outthought rather than outmuscled opponents, anticipating the play seconds before anyone else to anchor AC Milan's legendary 58-match unbeaten streak. Second, his loyalty was absolute. He spent his entire 20-year career at AC Milan. How many modern global superstars would actually stick with a relegated team at the absolute peak of their careers today? Well, Baresi stayed through 2 painful relegations to Serie B, leading Milan to permanently retire his iconic number 6 shirt. Literally the first time an Italian club ever did that. Finally, that loyal character fueled relentless grit on the international stage. During the 1994 World Cup, he tore his meniscus, had surgery, and miraculously returned just 25 days later for the final against Brazil. Wait, 25 days? Returning to play a flawless 120 minutes of elite soccer, less than a month's post-knee surgery, absolutely defies all medical logic and stands as an act of pure superhuman defiance. Ultimately, Franco Baresi proved that the greatest defenders don't just stop the opposition with their bodies, but with brilliant minds and fiercely loyal hearts.
Welcome to today's deep dive. So, looking at the match archives and historical biographies we've pulled for today, our mission is to unpack the legacy of a true football titan. Because, when you picture an all-time great 90s Italian defender, you probably imagine like a towering, bruising wall of a player, right? Someone who just relies on pure brawn to intimidate attackers.
Oh, absolutely. The classic enforcer type.
Right. But today, on July 31st, 2026, the football world lost someone who completely shattered that stereotype. Franco Baresi has passed away at age 66, and his story, it's a masterclass in how pure intellect can conquer brute strength.
He was a complete anomaly. You look at his origin story, and it almost makes zero sense that he became the anchor of arguably the greatest defense in history, especially in such a highly physical era.
Yeah, because he actually got rejected by Inter Milan when he was just 14. He and his older brother, Giuseppe, went to try out shortly after they were tragically orphaned.
Yeah, which is just heartbreaking on its own.
It really is. And Inter eagerly signed Giuseppe, but they looked to Franco and basically told him he was simply too small and weak for top-tier football.
Exactly. And in a league defined by heavy tackles, size was literally everything. So, what does he do? He walks across town and signs with their fiercest rivals, AC Milan.
Oh, man, the ultimate revenge setup.
Right. They even nicknamed him Piscine, which means the little one. But that initial stinging rejection by the club that chose his own brother, it bred this legendary unshakable loyalty.
Wait, but loyalty in football is easy when you're winning, Didn't he stick with AC Milan through some notoriously dark years? We're talking 2 actual relegations to a lower division.
He did. Most players of his caliber would have just, immediately transferred out, but he stayed. By age 22, that little one was actually wearing the captain's armband.
That's like a cinematic underdog story. The sting of rejection, literally forging his legacy. But this is where I want to push back a bit, or at least dig into the tactics. If you're an undersized defender in a fiercely competitive league, you can't just will yourself into being great, right?
Oh, for sure.
The opposing strikers are huge. If you make a physical mistake against those guys, you're dead. So how exactly did he physically survive out there?
Well, he survived by fundamentally changing how the sweeper or libero position was played.
Yeah.
Traditionally, a sweeper hangs deep behind the defense to clean up mistakes and make these last-ditch, bone-crunching tackles.
Like the safety net.
Exactly. But Baresi realized that if he waited for a giant striker to get the ball, his size was a massive liability. So he relied on this unmatched football IQ to intercept passes before they even arrive.
Wait, so instead of physically battling giant strikers, he essentially beat them by seeing into the future.
Pretty much, yeah. He outsmarted them before the ball was even kicked.
It sounds like instead of being the nightclub bouncer who physically wrestles you out of the bar, he was the guy who just discreetly locked the door before you even tried to get in.
That is a perfect way to look at it.
Yeah.
It was all about elite positional awareness. He would read the body language of the opposing midfielder, calculate the passing lane, and just step in front.
Wow.
Yeah. He neutralized the attacker's physical advantages by ensuring they never actually touched the ball.
Oh.
And then he would smoothly carry it forward to launch a counterattack.
Okay, but doing that as an individual is one thing. He somehow got the entire AC Milan team to play this way, right? Leading to their famous Invincibles era.
Right, because Baresi became the conductor of the high defensive line. Instead of sitting deep near their own goalkeeper, Baresi pushed his entire defense aggressively up the pitch.
Which compresses the space. But wait, isn't that insanely risky? Like, if one defender steps out of sync, the striker is completely in the clear.
It is incredibly risky.
Yeah.
But Baresi's timing was flawless. By pushing up perfectly in unison, they constantly caught attackers in offside traps.
So the attackers couldn't use their speed or strength because they were neutralized by geometry.
Exactly. It is the engine behind their historic 58-match unbeaten streak.
That is unreal. And then, well, we have his mythology-cementing performance at the 1994 World Cup final. This still blows my mind based on the accounts.
Oh, the meniscus injury?
Yes. He tears his meniscus, undergoes severe knee surgery, and just 25 days later plays 120 grueling minutes.
Unbelievable.
Just delivering an absolute defensive masterclass against a terrifying Brazilian attack.
It is one of the most stunning defensive performances ever recorded. I mean, his body was compromised, so he had to rely entirely on that elite anticipation and sheer willpower to survive against the best in the world.
And it secured an unparalleled legacy for you to really marvel at. 6 Serie A titles, 3 European Cups, and AC Milan permanently retiring his number 6 shirt, which is actually a first in Italian football history.
It really is the ultimate proof that anticipation and intelligence can overcome immense physical limitations in any arena. He proved that the game is played in the mind first and the feet second.
Which leaves you with a fascinating question to chew on today. Modern clubs spend millions on data and analytics to map out every single spatial probability on the pitch. But if Baresi revolutionized defense decades ago with nothing but his brain, how much of modern football's obsession with data is simply trying to artificially replicate the pure, instinctual genius he just possessed naturally?
If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider subscribing to Decision 45. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep creating high-quality content just like this. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss an update.